Hey YouTube, First Alert Meteorologist John Burchfield here. Hope you're having a good rainy start to this Thursday morning, kind of a dreary, soggy day after this sunny stretch of weather. So I just sent out the push alert to our weather app, the First Alert weather app, talking about today's weather hangout for kids. So thanks for tuning in. We schedule these every Thursday at 11 a.m. for the foreseeable future. And today we're talking about something that I think is very timely, very appropriate based on the weather we've experienced lately, calling this one weather roller coaster. So we're going to be talking about the ups and the downs and sort of the valleys and the crests of the weather that seems to be changing almost every day on a daily basis. In fact, I want to show you sort of a graph of the 10-day temperature trend coming up in just a bit in our First Alert forecast, and just how extreme it has been from one extreme to the next. You know, we were just having frost advisories and freeze warnings, and now we're forecasting temperatures near 90 degrees. So we're going to be talking about the ups and downs that is the weather roller coaster. Don't you just love the weather around here? But I'm going to wait for a few folks to tune on in. I've got your comments all coming in live here on YouTube. Definitely grab the kids. This is family-friendly Weather Hangout Kids Edition. First comment is coming in from Dawn. Thanks for joining us, Dawn. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes for folks to gather. But as I mentioned, we're talking about the weather roller coaster. That's how we like to describe it around here. It's got lots of ups and downs, and temperatures are going to be going up this week. So I've got plenty of graphics to share with you. Just pay attention to the audio because I'm going to put these over top today's topic, weather roller coaster, and we got a nice picture of a roller coaster up there. So thanks for joining us. I'm going to wait for a few more of your comments to come on through. We're live here on YouTube on the WTOL 11 YouTube page. Just sent out the push alert to the weather app. It says live Weather Hangout Kids Edition. So I got it there on my phone. Hopefully you got it on yours as well. There we go. The viewers are coming on in. Victoria, thanks for tuning in on this rainy Thursday. Nyla, I hope I pronounced that right, but thanks for tuning in. Cassandra, thanks for joining us. Also, just comment below, make sure the audio sounds okay. I do have a tendency to talk a little bit on the loud side. Not as loud as like an amusement park, like a roller coaster, but yeah, just let me know if the audio and video is working okay, and we will get started talking about the weather roller coaster. So I'm going to sort of bounce back and forth between the video here and then also some weather graphics to teach you about the weather roller coaster. So as far as roller coasters go, I think it's a good way to describe our weather around here. Cassandra says everything sounds good. Glad to hear it. So I want to start off with a little question. Do you have a favorite roller coaster, favorite amusement park? Do you like going to Cedar Point? I know as a kid, I spent a lot of time at this amusement park called Indiana Beach, which unfortunately recently closed down, but I had a lot of family out that way, so we went a lot during the summertime when I was growing up. But if you have a favorite roller coaster, I'm not going to lie, kind of a wimp when it comes to big roller coasters, so I don't know if I can handle the Millennium Force or too much at Cedar Point, but if you have a favorite roller coaster, I'd love to hear about it. I'm sure some of the kids joining in are a lot braver than I am when it comes to roller coasters. But Cassandra likes Cedar Point. Thanks for joining us, kindergartner here. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the ups and the downs and the weather, and I think the roller coaster is a good way to sort of describe it because our weather sometimes goes up and then it comes crashing down, sort of lots of ups and downs in the weather. So this is what we're forecasting for the week in terms of temperatures. We go down to the 60s on Saturday, 60s on Monday, and then that roller coaster jumps right back up into the 80s. So by a show of hands or by a comment on the comment section here on YouTube, who's excited for the 80s? It's been a little bit chilly lately throughout the month of May, but hey, we're going to be up to close to 90 degrees by the end of that 10-day forecast. So if you joined us for WTOL this morning, you probably saw that roller coaster in action in the 10-day forecast. I want to jump back to that. Yeah, the roller coaster is going up this week, 86 degrees on Friday. Are you excited for the warmer weather? All right, a few more of your comments. Nyla likes the Raptor at Cedar Point. The Raptor is definitely a fan favorite. Thanks for answering that one. Mary says the Mario roller coaster. That sounds like an awesome roller coaster. I can't say that I've ever ridden on that before. Mary, is that one at Cedar Point? I to be honest, I don't know. I'm not a huge roller coaster person, but I do like Mario. So assuming it's the Mario from the video games, sounds like a pretty awesome ride. We've got a viewer named Invisible tuning in. Well, I see your comment there, Invisible. Nyla says, I'm so excited. Yeah, so excited for the warmer weather. I know a lot of folks looking forward to wearing shorts and a t-shirt. Today's going to feel a little bit warmer, but also on the stormier side, as I'm sure you saw a little bit of rain earlier. So the roller coaster, definitely a good way to describe our weather. Has anyone heard of the jet stream before? A lot of the explanation today is going to be pertinent to the jet stream. Kind of, as I describe it, it is almost a roller coaster of sorts that sort of carries along the passengers. So when you're riding a roller coaster, you can think of it like the weather riding the jet stream. Just like when you ride a roller coaster, you gotta get in the car and then fasten up your seatbelt. The weather kind of rides along on the roller coaster that is the jet stream. So that's kind of how I'm going to describe it. Another way you can think of it is the moving walk. I don't know if you've ever been to an airport before, but this picture is actually from the Detroit airport. I've been there many times. Of course not lately, but still the moving walk, a roller coaster, however you want to think of it, that's kind of how the jet stream operates. The jet stream is the roller coaster that sort of moves and transports the weather from point A to point B. So a lot of the storms that affect us here in Ohio and Michigan, they actually start way out west, so sort of over the Pacific Ocean. They impact Oregon, Washington, California, and then they move all the way across the country, which is kind of hard to believe if you think about the weather starting all the way out west to the west coast and moving to the east coast. That's a long way to travel. But the jet stream is basically the roller coaster that connects the weather and moves it from point A to point B. So depending on the jet stream, the jet stream can fluctuate. It can have its ups and downs. It can move back and forth. Depending on the formation of the jet stream, that can impact how the weather gets to us and the types of weather that we see. I'm going to read through a few of your comments, and then we'll get the show on the road here and talking about the weather roller coaster and why there are so many ups and downs with our weather. Julie, that is awesome. Julie says, my dad designed the mean streak at Cedar Point. That's really amazing, Julie. It's not something I know a lot about in terms of the architecture that goes into those designs, but I'm sure it's a lot of planning, both in terms of what can we do to make a fun, awesome roller coaster, but also make it safe for guests. That's really cool. Thanks for joining that. Thanks for joining in, everyone. Mary says the Mario roller coaster. I approve of that, Mary. All right, let's get the show on the road talking about the weather roller coaster. So the jet stream, it's kind of like a moving walk. It's kind of like a roller coaster. And the jet stream can dictate the kind of weather that we have around here. So, you saw those 80s in the forecast. Basically, the reason for that is because of a shift in the jet stream. The jet stream is going to move to the north, and those orange colors show you where the temperatures are going to warm on up. So you see that line right between the blue and the oranges? That's kind of the jet stream and where it meets and where it moves the weather. So when the jet stream moves to the north, well, we tend to get a little bit more of that southerly breeze from the south. We get a little bit more of the access to warm air. So generally, if the jet stream shifts to the north, we're going to get a little bit more warm weather. Now, the jet stream can change a lot this time of year. The jet stream sometimes dips way to the south, and it brings in that cold air from our neighbors up north in Canada. Now, a lot of you might not like that, but that's kind of what happened last week. Anyone remember when it was 28, 30 degrees at night, and we were talking about frost and freeze? I'm sure your garden was not too happy with that forecast, but we do the best we can here in the First Alert Weather Department. So if the jet stream shifts to the south, sometimes it can bring in that cool Canadian air, and it can feel unseasonably cold. So that would be a roller coaster that has a big dip in it, and it's bringing that air in from the north. Now, if the jet stream lifts to the north, we can get that warmer air coming in, and that would be sort of like a peak in the jet stream. But of course, ups and downs seem to be pretty frequent around here. So I'm going to read through a few of your comments. We got someone saying, can't wait for Cedar Point and Kings Island to open, need some coaster therapy. Yeah, I'm sure a good roller coaster ride for you would probably be therapeutic. Some folks would probably consider it a little more nerve-wracking than anything. But yeah, amusement parks, it'll be really nice when we can all gather there together and have some fun at the rides. Definitely looking forward to that. Let's see, we got a question or a comment that says maybe yes, maybe no, maybe rain, maybe snow. So I saw something on Facebook the other day that was kind of funny. Do you know why this month is called May? The month of May actually gets its name because it may be warm, it may be cold, it may be rain, it may be snow. So sort of may be anything. I thought that was kind of funny, but also kind of accurate because that roller coaster, the jet stream, tends to change shape a lot this time of year. Sometimes we get the warmer air from the south, other times we get that cooler air dipping from the north. So I'm going to go back to the graphics and show you kind of what's expected into the forecast for today. So we've obviously had a lot of chilly weather lately, and we're forecasting a much warmer pattern. Now, when the jet stream kind of settles somewhere in between, so not too far north, not too far south, usually the more active weather, the rain, the snow, the storm systems, they sort of form right along that line of the jet stream. So over the next couple of days, when you see several rain chances in the forecast, we're going to be sort of right on that blend between the warm and the cold air. And a lot of times this time of year, oops, we went to the full screen webcam. I hope you're okay with that. But I kind of want to explain how when the warm and the cold air butt heads, when we're sort of right on that boundary line between the cooler air in the jet stream and the warmer air, we can tend to get a more active storm pattern. So with today's weather, it's sort of a changing of the guard between the cooler air and the warmer air. And what that's doing is it's giving us a little bit more active pattern going into the weekend. So if you look out your window, probably seeing rain. If you look at the forecast, seeing that storm chance into the afternoon today. So right now we're kind of right on that boundary between warm and cold air. So the jet stream is basically guiding in active weather into our viewing area. So like I described earlier in the show, jet stream's a lot like a roller coaster, and then each individual weather event, whether it's a rainstorm or a sunny day, is kind of like the passenger car of the roller coaster. So the roller coaster gets the cars from point A to point B, and right now we have several rain chances. You can think of each one of those rain chances as an individual car on a roller coaster that is getting guided along. So I'm going to read through a few more of your comments. Yeah, a comment saying it's Ohio, so who knows? I think we do a pretty good job forecasting the weather here at the First Alert Weather Team. But like the month of May, it may be warm, it may be cold, it may be anything. There's certainly lots of ups and downs that keep us meteorologists on our toes. All right, we've been live here for 11 minutes or so. So let's talk about the next component to the weather roller coaster. I want to show you a different sort of visual that describes the jet stream. So the jet stream not only changes shape from day to day and from week to week, but it also tends to change shape from season to season. So during the summertime, the jet stream sort of more permanently almost migrates to the north a little bit. So usually during the summer, when the jet stream's further north, we tend to get quieter weather, we tend to get more sunny days, and we tend to get hotter weather as well. So when that jet stream or when that roller coaster lifts to the north, basically the roller coaster isn't delivering us weather. It isn't delivering those passenger cars to Ohio. North of us, up in northern Michigan, southern Canada, they might get a little more active weather. But when that jet stream permanently sort of moves to the north during the summer months, we tend to get a little bit of a quiet weather pattern, which is why a lot of times during the summer, we have those nice sunny blue sky days, maybe some fair weather cumulus clouds, but a lot of times we call it high pressure, which basically means the sun is here to stay. Sometimes there's a few fair weather clouds that cause pop-up thunderstorms, but usually when that jet stream migrates to the north, we tend to get a little bit of a quieter weather pattern. So we got Victoria tuning in, Cassandra, thanks for joining us. Griffin giving a shout out to Mrs. Younker's class in Napoleon. Thanks for that shout out. Also in the comments, let me know what school district you're tuning in from. Really excited to have all the kids and the parents along. I was a Sylvania Schools kid when I grew up in Toledo, but really all the school districts around here are really great, and I'm excited that you're taking a minute out of your day to learn a bit about the weather. So as we were just talking about, the jet stream, a lot like a roller coaster, a lot like the moving walk at the airport, tends to shift to the north during the summer. Now during the winter, that jet stream shifts to the south a little bit. And when it's more permanently situated to the south, what that does is it means that all that cold Arctic air from the north, from Canada, kind of comes down and impacts Ohio and Michigan and much of the Midwest. And when that jet stream is a little bit more permanently settled to the south, that kind of means the cold air is there to stay. During the summer, it's kind of the opposite of what happens. So during the summer, that warm air is a little bit more stagnant, a little bit more constant. But then during the winter, the jet stream's like, nope, you're cooling down. So it moves to the south, and with that jet stream fluctuation comes some colder air from the north. So a lot of times during the winter, the colder air, if we want to forecast how cold it's going to be during the winter, we have our eyes on the north. We're looking at the weather up in Canada. So if you don't like the chill, blame our neighbors up to the north, because a lot of the times that really cold air comes from Canada. So the jet stream tends to shift to the south during the winter, delivering some of that colder air for us. So we got Sophia tuning in from Bowling Green High School alumni. Very cool, Sophia. I've definitely been to Bowling Green quite a few times. Very, very nice. I think that's Ryan Weekman's alumni too. So thanks for joining us, Sophia. Julie, go Wildcats. We love the weather. Yeah, thanks for joining in. We love the weather too here at the WTOL weather team, so thanks for joining us. Nyla says we have blue skies and sunny, but it's windy. Where are you tuning in from, Nyla? I'm looking outside my window right now, sort of in the West Toledo kind of area, and it is a little bit showery for me at least, but of course the weather can change from place to place. It isn't always a constant over our viewing area, which is why we forecast for individual communities and not just for Toledo. Okay, so the jet stream tends to shift to the south in the winter, and remember how I was talking about how we have a more active weather pattern setting up shop for the weekend? Well, right now the jet stream is kind of over top of us. So what that means is the roller coaster is delivering us weather. The roller coaster is delivering those passenger cars from point A to point B, and a lot of times that weather starts all the way out west and just rides along the jet stream like a conveyor belt. So is anyone excited for the more active weather pattern? You know, we got thunderstorms in the forecast for this afternoon, more showers tomorrow, kind of a dry spell on Saturday, but if you saw that forecast, another washout of a day on Sunday. So yeah, kind of a more active, rainy, stormy weather pattern, at least for the next couple of days, before that jet stream brings us some warmer air. So I know a lot of you said you were excited about that warm up. I was showing the 10-day forecast a few minutes ago and showing how we're going to get close to 90 degrees, which is hard to believe since we're talking about freeze warnings not too many days ago. So I know some of you excited for the warm-up, maybe not quite as many excited for the storms, but the one thing I will say is that it's been really, really dry lately. You know, I was starting to see some cracks in the grounds at some of the metro parks lately, so I think a lot of folks will be needing the rain, and it's a good thing. You know, you got to have balance, a little bit of dry weather followed by a little bit of rain, maybe not too much of either one, but I do think we need a little bit of rain for sure. So I'm going to read through a few of your questions and comments here. Mary says, AG wants to know why fishing is better in the rain. You know, Mary, that's something that I've heard before. My brother is big into fishing, and he always mentioned that too. It's not something that I know a good answer to off the top of my head. I'm sure someone else tuning in has a good answer for that, because I know about the weather. I have a feeling it has something to do, with the fact that either they think that the rain is food, so they come to the surface. That's one hypothesis. I could not guarantee that for you because I'm not really much of a fisherman myself, but maybe when they hear those raindrops or see the rain striking the surface, they think that's someone throwing in some worms or food for them. That's one plausible explanation, but I'm probably going to sound silly. So if someone has a better answer for that, please let me know. So Nyla says, my dog and I will not like the storms, but we need it for the garden. I know a lot of the dogs are not too excited about this, but it's been good dog walking weather lately. I've seen a lot of very, very happy pups out on leashes through the neighborhood. So 2020 is a great year to be a dog so far. Lots of time with their humans for sure. So back to the graphics here. A more active weather pattern setting up shop. The jet stream is going to be delivering us several rain chances as we go into the week. So check that out. I'm just going to take a sip of water and we'll get right back to our weather hangout here. All right, so back to that moving walk. Does that kind of help make sense of it in terms of the roller coaster analogy or the moving walk? Kind of how the jet stream is the conveyor belt. It's the roller coaster that guides along our weather. The weather on a day-to-day basis can kind of depend on what shape the jet stream's in. If the jet stream's too far to the north, the storms all miss us. If it's too far to the south, it all misses us to the south. If the jet stream's right overhead, then boy, we're going to get rainstorm after rainstorm after rainstorm, and sometimes that more active weather pattern really is going to last until the jet stream changes shape. So when you see that forecast, we got a newscast coming up at noon on WTOL Channel 11. So when I show you that forecast and you see rain today, rain tomorrow, rain again on Sunday, the reason for that is the jet stream is going to be delivering several doses of rain for us before it changes shape and starts to bring on some warmer weather from the south. So we got a comment that says it's kind of rainy in Toledo. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Looking at First Alert Doppler all morning, it's been sort of on and off showers. Not really too much in the way of thunder, at least yet today, but I have certainly noticed the rain for sure. But then we got another comment saying it was sunny. So, the weather, like we were talking about with the month of May, it may be sunny, it may be rainy. We try to make sense of it. It definitely keeps us meteorologists on our toes. So LaQuentin wants to give a shout out to Mrs. Boyd's class. Thanks for that shout out. If we got any other viewers from that class, thanks for joining us for the weather hangout. I know if anything, this weather hangout has gotten folks excited to go back to amusement parks. We'll see when Cedar Point and everything opens back up, but yeah, it'll be good to get back out on those roller coasters. But in the meantime, you can think of roller coasters very similarly to the jet stream. A lot of times the weather repeats itself. We get one storm after another, and the reason for that is the jet stream sort of doesn't change shape. And that's one thing I've noticed working weekends in TV for the last 4 years now, is that sometimes every single weekend it seems like there's a rainstorm, and I'm sure many of you have noticed that too, where the weather repeats itself. You know, we had storms last Sunday, and this Sunday it's also going to be rainy, so sort of a repeat performance, and that's a lot of times due to the jet stream sort of following the same shape and the weather just taking the same amount of time to finish that roller coaster. You know, if you ride the Top Thrill Dragster or the Raptor, it's going to take the same time every single time you ride it. You know, it's not going to take 5 minutes to go on the ride one time and then 10 minutes the next time and then 2 minutes the next time. You know, if the jet stream is in the same formation, those weather patterns are usually going to take about the same amount of time, and Mother Nature is going to repeat herself, very much like a roller coaster that you really like and you just get back in line for. All right, I am going to call it a day for this weather hangout. Got to keep track of the rain and also get ready for our noon newscast. But we've been live for 20 minutes. Hopefully this was informative. I think it's a good analogy in talking about the jet stream and the weather repeating itself as a roller coaster. You can think of it as a moving walk, as an escalator, basically anything that sort of conveys or moves the weather from point A to point B. So next time we show you that jet stream map, or the map with the highs and the lows and the fronts, you can kind of think of a roller coaster guiding along our weather patterns. Hopefully that helps. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Definitely grab that First Alert weather app, because we are still keeping an eye on some storms for later today. And also grab the umbrella, because you're going to need it with this more active weather pattern. Thanks for tuning in and taking a few minutes out of your day. This was really fun, but I got to get ready for the noon show. Don't want to be late for that, but turn on your TV to channel 11 at noon, and we will talk about that big warm-up. Temperatures make a run for 90 degrees. Have a good day.